up a dive. Feel the vibe, get ready to ignite. Untold stories in the airwaves, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, so I remember I share and subscribe. Join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the attic, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories, they're talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the group. Untold Radio Network, the secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild member ride. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the Untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Spectrum here on the Untold Radio Network. I'm your host, Barnaby Jones. Today's episode is pre-recorded. That's right, guys. If we're leaving comments or questions in the comments section, we're not actually here. We are recording this, so thanks for watching, but we'll catch you later. Coming up, guys, this weekend, the CAPS team, myself, we are going to be at the Neenah Public Library. I'm doing a presentation on the Gainers Tavern, the haunted experiences over there. And this Friday evening, actually, should be the broadcast premiere of My Haunted Hometown on the T&E network, where our building was actually featured, the Bean Snappers building. And that's what the presentation will be all about. So if you're in the Neenah, Wisconsin area, come on out and check it out and get a behind the scenes look at all the things that went into the My Haunted Hometown filming and all the paranormal stuff that happened there. And then this Sunday, guys, the live Halloween special is going to be out October 27th. It'll film from the location of the My Haunted Hometown stuff from 5 p.m. It'll be on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Both of those you can find at Wisconsin Caps. Coming up November 2nd, we are going to be at the Bell City Paracon in Summers, Wisconsin. And then Lexington, Kentucky, November 23rd and 24th. We are going to be in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin on November 30th for the Soul and Synergy Expo. And then December 1st at the Krampus event in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Again, that's a free event outside at the brewery district. All kinds of food and entertainment and a parade and all kinds of stuff, vendors. So head on out. It's going to be a huge event. You don't want to miss it. I got a couple of library presentations other than the Nina one coming up as well towards the end of the month. Edgerton, Wisconsin on October 30th. And I think the Oak Creek one is done by now. So again, we're pre-recorded, so I got to do this in advance. And then guys, May 9th, 10th, and 11th, we are going to be in Appleton, Wisconsin for the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention. We're going to talk more about that next year. So coming up with that is all we got for that. If you want to show your support for all things here on the Untold Radio Network, here's how.
Hey, Untold Radio Network fans. Want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
All right, guys, I'm excited. We have Curt Sandvig in our show today. He is a seasoned paranormal investigator with 25 years of experience and has maintained a lifelong fascination with the supernatural since childhood. He is the host of the award-winning Paranormal Almanac podcast, and he shares his insights and experiences making the show accessible on various platforms, including YouTube. He is also an author of a brand new book, and here he is to talk all about that. Please welcome to the show, Curt Sandvig. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, howdy, hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a while.
It has.
Awesome. So you are a podcast host in your own right. You have all kinds of stuff. Been doing that. How many years now have you been doing that?
I've been doing Paranormal Almanac since 2017, and then I did Drunken Metaphysical for a few years prior to that, but primarily Paranormal Almanac 2017. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. You have quite the following over there. You are, as you said, an award-winning podcast host. You just won another award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I got to thank the Parapod Festival. Everybody over there is fantastic. The Paramaniacs that voted for me, all my fans that voted for me, it really surprised me. And this is how little faith I had in winning. I was actually at a haunted house. I went to the CBS Ghosts haunted house out here in LA for the TV show. And it was fantastic. And all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up and I'm like, okay, I didn't feel an earthquake. Why is everybody checking in on me? And it was to congratulate me. So it was neat.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
You have been very busy as well lately. I see you've been doing a lot of investigating and stuff. What have you been up to?
I have, yeah. I've been doing a couple of investigations that actually I haven't even talked about on my show yet. I've been saving them for closer to Halloween. Two of them were actually in Pasadena at the same location. A friend of mine moved into her grandma's house, and her grandma had passed away a few years ago. And the tenant that had been living in there was like, hey, there's something here with us. We think it's a ghost cat. We think it's an older lady, like all these kind of things. So when that tenant moved out and my friend was like, she's like, hey, I'm moving in. Do you want to do an investigation? I was like, boom, right there. So I was immediately over there. I set up all of my gear while explaining to my friend who's not into the paranormal at all. I was explaining to her like everything that I was doing. Like, I'm setting up this camera. I'm going to point it this way. This is a full spectrum camera. And here's my REM pod. I'm going to set this up over here. I'm going to put a couple of LED cat balls over here. I mean, I ran the gambit of everything that I was throwing at this place. And I was like, she's like, cool. Want to go get lunch? And I'm like, yeah, let's let this place just be itself. I want to see what happens while we're gone. So we go to lunch nearby, and she gets a call from her new neighbor at the place we were just at, saying, hey, there's all kinds of weird, like, theremin music coming from your house. Like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, that's the REM pod. All right, here we go. We're going to have some good stuff. And recorders. I had 3 separate recorders, 3 cameras, you name it. And so about an hour goes by, we're eating lunch. We come back home. We go back to her house, and I run into the room where everybody sees the woman. And not only is my camera turned off, it's now turned the other way. my video camera turned the other way. And I was like, all right, this is going to be fun. I go to my recorder. I press play. You can hear us leaving. You hear us locking the door. And then you hear like 4 footsteps, and then it turns off. And I'm like, what the? So I go out to the living room. That camera is recording still. I was like, sweet. All right, so I'm going to play this back. Let's throw it on the TV. Let's find out what we got. It literally plays until we leave. The door locks, pauses, and then it turns back on as she's jingling the keys to get back inside. So I was like, I made a mistake of explaining to everybody in the house what I was doing and setting it up. And boy, howdy, did that grandma was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I've never had this kind of experience. So I've since been back one more time, and no joke. I was like, all right, you guys have a cat. And they're like, no, we don't. We just have Cersei, their dog. That's it. And I'm like, there's a freaking cat in your house. I literally, not out of the corner of my eye, not like I saw a blur or something run by. I was like, oh, there's a black cat. Interesting. Hi, black cat. Like, I was making eye contact with this thing, walked over and said, oh, you guys got a cat. Walked back, nothing. So there is definitely a ghost cat, and apparently my paranormal equipment. I mean, talk about like setting off everything I've ever had. I've never had everything turn off or pause. The pause one is where I was like, that is impressive. I like that.
Did you hear that on your side just now?
No.
There was like a thunderstorm just came over.
Really?
Yeah, we'll have to see if that shows up on the actual recording, but you could hear you, but it was like over the top of it.
Well, you know that my place is haunted, and anytime I start talking about it, it kicks off. But usually I hear it as well. So, and it's usually like right directly above me. So, really?
Yeah, I remember the last time we talked, stuff was going on too. So, yeah, that was interesting. This is gonna be a good show.
I love it. I love it. Starting off with a bang.
Yeah, we'll have to check back. I'll let you know after we get done if it showed up on here. But yeah, it was like your mic kind of toned down and then went.
Really?
It was weird. I've never heard that before.
I love it. There is something going on
here
a lot lately. Like, and it's definitely picking up, which, you know, it's Halloween. It should be picking up. But yeah, it's definitely picking up in this place too.
Very cool. I have picked up just a few of your episodes and stuff. I'm pretty busy lately, but how's your Hand of Fate doing?
The Hand of Fate is doing great. It is right there where the skull is. The skull sitting on it. It's still, this is again, it's a long story. I'll real quick. Someone sent me this box, that box right there, and it was filled with sand, filled with like a mummy wrapped Hand of Fate, this metal claw. And it's been like well over a year, maybe 2 years that I've had this thing. And it's still, if I had it, unfortunately, I don't have my FLIR near me. If I have my FLIR and I point at it, it is always 5 to 10 degrees hotter than everything around it. Even when it should be cold because the house is cold, it's still 5 to 10 degrees hotter. So I don't know what's inside it or what it's made of, but man, it holds the heat. It's crazy.
Wow. Have you, I remember the last time, or right around the last time we talked, you had talked about having the bushes outside your house catch on fire.
Yeah.
Have you had anything else weird happen with it?
Thankfully, knock on wood. Thankfully, that was the only thing, because that's where, that's why it was sent to me. The mystery listener, fan, whatever, they got it in New England. They found it in New England in the basement, the dirt floor basement of a house that had caught on fire. And it was flooded as well from the fire being put out and stuff. And no joke, within a week of having the Hand of Fate, this punk kid torched the bushes between me and my neighbor's house, like fire, 5-alarm fire, kind of. Not like, oh, there's a little bush on fire. No, I'm talking flames going up 20 feet high. So yeah, it definitely has some form of love of fire. I am bringing it. I'll tell you what, this is another exclusive I haven't talked about yet. I'm bringing the Hand of Fate with me to the Queen Mary on the 26th. We're having a little paramaniac meetup at the Queen Mary, and I want to see what happens with the Hand of Fate on the Queen Mary. See if I get even more activity.
Sink the poor ship.
Right. It just breaks off and floats away.
Heard in the news, the Queen Mary sank. What? Oh, uh-oh.
Sorry, everybody.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you got, for doing this, like, I get stuff sent to me, thankfully I haven't gotten too much. Well, no, I don't know if it's thankfully or not, but I haven't gotten too much weird stuff sent to me. I've inherited a couple haunted dolls.
Oh, nice.
So they've been sitting down in my living room because they want to be a part of everything. But they have, I can't say for sure, but one of them may have turned since I've owned it.
Oh,
But
nice.
aside from that, they've been pretty good in that. But I do have something. You can't see, I'm on green screen here, but right outside my door here, there's the landing of my upstairs stairs, and everything there seems to be just all wonky. I have Alexa in my house, and
Mine would have gone off.
and so all my lighting and everything is controlled by that.
Yep.
And my hallway light is all wonky. It literally just popped and fizzled out the other morning when I was doing my show. A lot of times when I'm on here doing the Paranormal Spectrum shows, my hall light will just turn off randomly. I have a security camera that I've installed at the top of the stairs a couple years ago because of other weird paranormal things that have happened. And that is the only camera on my entire system that doesn't work right now either, is that camera.
No kidding.
So there's a lot of weird energy right here outside this room. And I don't know why. I don't have any weird haunted objects out there or nothing. And so it's
Have you ever had the thing that we were just talking about that responds to us?
Yep.
Yeah, her. Have you ever had her say cheers to you out of the blue, out of nowhere?
No.
All right. So I started this YouTube show. It's part of Paranormal Almanac, but I wanted to do, it's called Boozy Haunts. And the first episode of Boozy Haunts, I made Haunted Mama Juana. And if you don't know what, hold on, let me grab a bottle. It's right here. Here you go. Haunted Mama Juana by Boozy Haunts. If you don't know what Mama Juana is, it is a bag of sticks, basically. It's from the Dominican Republic, and it's supposed to be a cure-all. Like, whatever you have, this will fix you. And it's also used in like rituals and stuff and voodoo and whatnot. So I was like, oh, I want to make some Mama Juana, but I want to like amp it up a little bit. I want to make it haunted. So Mama Juana is, you get a big jar, put all the sticks in there, fill it up 50% with rum, 40% with red wine, and then 10% with honey. But there's a company called Bee Guys in Louisiana, in New Orleans. And what they do is they get called into mausoleums and crypts to clean out all of the hives that are in the mausoleum and crypts. And so they make this honey called Haunted Honey. And I was like, oh, I got to put Haunted Honey and make a thing of Haunted Mama Juana. By the way, it's fantastic. It's like Christmas. It's just amazing taste. But so I was standing at this bar because it's too hot to do it out in my tiki bar that I have. So I was standing at this bar and I'm showing everybody and pouring it and, bottling it and everything. And I was like, but I can't wait to try it. So I pour a little bit in a glass and I'm like, cilantro. And her goes, cheers. And I was like, what? And scared the crap out of me because I live alone. And I was like, what the heck? And so I tried for the next 10 minutes. I cut it out of the episode, but I tried for 10 straight minutes to get her to say cheers again. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Nothing. It has never done it since. That one time when I was drinking the first sip of Haunted Mama Juana, scared the crap out of me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. And like I said, actually, shockingly, tastes good. I was surprised.
Yeah, I've had her say different things like that were unsolicited. I've never had her do that, but I know there's people that have started doing, let's see, what else was there? There's that, and there's another app on your phone. I can't remember if it's like Siri or Siri. Sorry, I don't know what her name is. I don't have her. It's one of those or something, but they take that on investing. Voice to text.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've actually
used that. Yeah, and I've seen that done a couple times, or I've heard of people trying that and seeing what you get like for EVPs and stuff. So I haven't tried it because obviously I can't remember what I was supposed to try. But
Yeah, no, I've done that. The voice to text actually, it's interesting. I haven't had a lot of success with it, but it did help me decode an EVP like 2018, forever ago, where I was like, I don't know what this thing is saying. And my friend at the time, she was like, here, let me voice to text it, and press play. And then we press play on the EVP and it said it. And I was like, that's exactly what it's saying. I never would have got it. She never would have got it, but it was clear as day. And I think the electronics just helped it become clearer. So yeah, there's a lot of weird, fun stuff. That's my favorite thing, is using technology that's not meant to be used for the paranormal, like the cat balls, LED cat balls. Like, they're the cheapest, tiniest, stupid little LED toys, and I get the best results from them everywhere I go. I'm bringing those on the Queen Mary as well. And I'm bringing, I just got this. It's actually really cool. It's a bit like a REM pod, where if the closer you touch to it, the lights would light up, but it's a yes or no. So it'll be a green and then a red light. And I've played around with it once in Pasadena, and like, light up the green light within a second. Not even like I had to wait there for 5 minutes or anything. Within a second, green light, that left eye lit up, or whatever, I lit up, and I was shocked how quickly it happened. So this is my new favorite toy. Plus, there's no speaker, so it's not annoying like like a REM pod. It doesn't annoy all the ghosts. Between the spirit box and the REM pods, I don't understand why any ghost would want to talk to me. But no noise. It's fun.
Very cool. Well, let's since you want to talk about equipment and stuff, let's talk about your book.
Sure.
You have a brand new book out, The Paranormal Almanac: A Beginner's Guide to Ghost Hunting by Curt Sandvig.
That's right.
Tell us all about this.
Yeah. So like, I get, and I'm sure you get it as well, the same questions asked a million times. So I figured now's the time to write just a beginner quick field guide for the paranormal. And it has it's everything that I wish I had when I was a kid, like what equipment you need to buy and how to do it without having to spend $2,000 on ghost hunting equipment to see if you even like ghost hunting. And then you're stuck with all this equipment and it's hard to resell. So how to use your phone, the best equipment, the best way to safely paranormal investigate. Cause that's the big thing is I'm going to go to this abandoned building and nobody's going to know where I am and nothing. Yeah. This is how people die. So I was like, all right, there is a safe way of doing it. I mean, I spent years back in Detroit unsafely, paranormal investigating. So I can give those kind of tips. And then I went into everything, some EVP sample questions, how to use, because nothing drives me more crazy than watching a ghost hunting show and they're using their equipment wrong. And, they're waving the K2 meter over their pants where they obviously have a cell phone in their pocket and they're getting a hit. I'm like, yeah, you're picking up your cell phone. Or the REM pod, they're waving it all around. I'm like, no, just set it down, let it be, get some distance, make sure it's not near an outlet, all these basics. But I found that since I was getting all these same questions, obviously people are asking them. So why not just do a quick field guide on how to, how to go through it, reviewing your audio evidence, reviewing your video evidence, how that it's not going to be like Ghost Adventures. You're not going to walk into a building and it's not the Haunted Mansion. Everything's not going to just start up and start happening for you. You might be there for hours and you might have to switch up how you're actually doing your paranormal investigation. So I wanted to keep people's expectations of it can be very boring. You might not hear anything all night long, but your equipment might. So don't skimp on reviewing your data. But again, like I said, it's not the most in-depth, but it's exactly what I wish I would have had as a kid. And, ghost hunting checklist. Here's the stuff that you need to bring with you. And I swear, I've been doing it 25 years. I forgot my SIM card when I went to the Winchester on Monday. If I would have just looked at my own checklist, all my gear would have been checked. There's my SIM card. There we go. I'm ready to go. So even an experienced one like me, it doesn't hurt to check on this checklist every now and then. But yeah, it's something fun. It's on Amazon. I've tried to make it as cheap as I possibly could price wise. And it's $18, $19, but hey, you know what? You'll get $18 out of that. I can pretty much guarantee you that. And it's got spaces to fill stuff in, because like I said, I want people to bring this with them. That's why I wanted it big and floppy, so you can bring it with you and just check it out. If you get $18 worth out of it, great. If you get $1,000 out of it, great. I'm just happy to help, because again, same questions over and over.
Absolutely right there, man. It looks like an amazing book. Like I said, I haven't got a chance to look at it yet and that, but you're right. Like, I've heard your show. I've heard you talk and stuff all these times. You do the paranormal news and stuff at the beginning, and all these stories of people, and you're like, no, you're wrong. And watching all these videos and stuff.
Yeah.
There's I do a presentation on the science of the paranormal, and I use a clip, and I'm not going to go too much into where this clip is from, but it is a nationally televised big name paranormal investigation show.
Yep.
And for people that have seen it, maybe they'll know when I talk about it here, but the one researcher, there's two people on the show doing this investigating, and they hear a REM pod go off upstairs. Now this does happen. So then they go upstairs, and the guy walks in the room, and the girl downstairs is watching him on security cameras. And he walks in and he clicks his walkie and he goes, "Oh, well, the REM pod's not going. Oh, it's going off now."
Yes.
And I'm like, you do realize that your walkie is literally triggering the REM pod, and you're going, "Oh, we got something." No, you don't. You do not have anything.
Nothing drives me more crazy. I have this really sweet neighbor. She's in her 70s. I go and hang out. Her dog hangs out with my dogs. It's great. Or my dog hangs out with her dogs. And she started recording a lot of these paranormal shows for me, so I could hang out and watch them. And I'm like, it's very sweet. I'll watch them. And every episode, I'm like, well, that's actually not. She's like, oh, no, they just saw something. I'm like, no, and here's why. And she's like, wow, you should be on one of these shows. I'm like, yes, I should. You're right. But that's coming soon. Hey, your episode is coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it's you can watch it online right now. It's a brand new show series, My Haunted Hometown. Yeah, and it's all different across the country, different haunted locations and stuff. And we had the privilege to film at the Bean Snappers Haunted Strip Club.
Bean Snappers.
They came out and did the show there, and it should be nationally. Well, it should be airs in Canada first.
Yeah,
and then it will air in the United States coming out in the spring. We were told it was going to be on Travel Channel, but we haven't got confirmation yet. It's supposed to be on one of the Discovery networks. So
that is awesome. I cannot wait. I filmed a show, I think since the last I've talked to you. I was lucky enough to be on a show called Ghost Girls. It's supposed to be coming out next month. I think it's coming up soon. Again, I've not seen it, but I've been told by the director, he's like, we got something. And I was like, no, seriously? Like, because you have some weird stuff that'll happen, but you don't know, like this weird thundery thing. You don't know if your stuff picked it up. So who knows if anybody else will hear it. Apparently on Ghost Girls, there's something that happens. I can't wait to find out what it is.
Yeah, that's cool. We just filmed back last spring. We also filmed for PBS, Wisconsin Public Television.
Nice.
And they came out bigfooting with us, and they're supposed to be putting out an episode. I think it's a Wisconsin Life, and it's supposed to come out this fall. It's editing right now, so I haven't talked too much about it, but they were out on a Bigfoot expedition with us, and they were filming down the trail from us, and they said, "Hey, is anybody down there?" And we said, "No." Well, they said, "Well, this big shadow just went across." And I said, "Well, did you get it on camera?" And they said, "We think we did." So I don't know, but that should be really cool. So when that comes out, but like I said, I don't know when it's going to come out yet, so we haven't talked too much about it, but that's exciting too.
I love it, man. See, this is why I like one of the reasons I like you. You know what you're doing. That's what makes me happy. You're a great interviewer. That's what makes me happy. But I want to promote other paranormal entities. Like, that's the big thing that I've been doing on the show, especially lately, is if there's somebody that's doing something in the paranormal community, I want to let my fans know about it, because maybe my fans are different than their fans. And, we're all into the paranormal. So why don't we promote each other? Like, did you hear about the Poltergeist house?
Mm-mm.
All right. So the movie Poltergeist, where they shot it, that house was just sold recently, like a month ago. And I was kind of bummed because I really wanted to walk. It's the movie that broke me as a child. Poltergeist. I saw it when I was like 11. I shouldn't have seen it. Scared the crap out of me. But so I was like, oh, I really want to go to the poltergeist house and see what kind of mental effects it has on me. Well, it was sold, and I was like, well, there goes that dream. No, turns out that there's a company that bought it, and they're making it an Airbnb and doing it up exactly like the movie, because they shot it inside the house. So the house is exactly set up like it is, but they're going to redo it exactly like the movie. And they promoted it like Monday, I think it was. And I reached out and I said, oh, this is fantastic. I will promote you to no end. And they're like, well, we can't pay. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I just want to promote because you're doing something tangentially for the paranormal community. So I want to make sure that I promote it. And they're fantastically cool people. And they're like, yeah, as soon as it's open, we'll have you come by. You can spend a night. And I'm like, I'm going to do an episode, a live episode. I'm going to go swimming in the pool and bring plastic skeletons. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait.
Really cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I really don't. I don't watch a lot of movies to begin with, but I think I've seen Poltergeist a long time ago. Well, I used to own a haunted house attraction.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah. And when I started it, people are like, oh, you should do it like this and like this and like this. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I went on Facebook and I said, okay, here's the thing. I have a whole weekend to kill here. What am I supposed to watch? And literally my whole Facebook feed was, here's all the movies you should see. So I went to the public library and I got all these movies and I watched them all in like one weekend. So I don't remember a lot of it, but I have seen the Poltergeist. Yeah.
I just rewatched it because I was like, all right, I haven't seen it since, well, probably another 20 years. Every 20 years I'll watch it, I guess. I definitely it didn't break me like it did when I was 11, but still it holds up. It's a good movie. I just like the stuff that's based on real things, like the Conjuring house. Like I love the Conjuring house and the Stanley Hotel, like anything that's connected to a horror movie, but for real, I'm all about it.
That's really cool. Speaking of promoting stuff, I know I want to get this in. Your Buzz, the guy that does your bumper music and stuff, you have a link to the GoFundMe on that if you'd like to promote that as well.
I do. Thank you. Yeah. Please head on over to anywhere you can find Paranormal Almanac. I'm going to have it up on everything.
In the show notes.
Same page. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Please check it out. I have a bunch of fans that were in the path of, well, now 2 hurricanes, sadly, instead of just the one. And Buzz, if you've ever listened to my show, Buzz did all of the bumper music for Paranormal News. Fantastic guy. Love him to death. And his house was pretty much wiped out and his neighborhood was pretty much wiped out. So I want to do everything I can. There's going to be a GoFundMe. If I know like a lot of people are hesitant about GoFundMe, we'll get like his Venmo or his Zelle. And if you're still fuzzy on that, I don't blame you. You can also buy at tpublic.com/stores/paranormal-almanac, Paranormal Almanac on TeePublic. There is a Paranormal Almanac Buzz shirt. And I'm sending every penny I get to Buzz because, it's just horrific what these people went through just recently and then last night. Like my folks' house. My folks have a house in Florida, in Venice, Florida, and it's iffy as to if it's still there. So it's terrifying. But yeah, I absolutely love Buzz. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, I'm all about I'm all about promoting stuff. Like people's time is valuable, and it seems like every single person out there has a podcast of some sort and stuff now.
Yep.
And it's so hard to try and find people to come on and they want to do this. I try and find everyone that's got a new book or something to promote because everyone's always much more willing to come out and sell their stuff. So,
sure.
But I love it because like there's people like you that when I first started this, I was looking for just generic information on certain topics to see if I want to delve deeper and stuff. And that's how I found your show. Was I honestly can't remember now which episode I stumbled on, but there was something that I was working on and I was like, oh, here's this episode on it. And you were a fun and entertaining show. And I just started listening to it and I'm like, this is really cool. And I'm losing my voice now.
I know. Wow. You're getting all verklempt.
Yeah, but like I said, you've been on my show, The Whispers from the Dark, before I had either of the other shows that we're doing now, and I had the privilege of coming on your 100th episode. So,
and it was fantastic. Awesome. Like you know what, the 300th is coming up soon. Remember I already hit you up, even like, hey, are you available for my show too? Because same thing. Like I love good people. I will promote the heck out of good people, just because I love it. Like it's this community can be the best community, but it
Mhm.
also has a couple of those people that are on TV that are the worst of the community. And I'm trying to show people we're not all like that. Like Bobby Mackey's, this haunted honky tonk bar, just closed down. And I'd reached out to them for this thing I wanted to do with Boozy Haunts. And they were like, no, but the entire bar is being auctioned off. And I was like, oh, sweet. I'll get a piece of Bobby Mackey's. This will be fantastic. I'll have it, you know, against all this junk in the background. It'll be great. And I started bidding on stuff. And then I noticed that the same bidder was outbidding me on every little thing I wanted. And I was like, okay, I have a feeling I know who this is, but maybe not. I got to reach out to the shipping company. So, because that's what they said to do before you bid. So I reached out to him, and the guy was like, hey, I'm telling you what, good luck, buddy. There's this guy that has his own ghost hunting show. He's literally buying up the whole bar. You're not going to get anything. But I got one piece. I got one 3 foot by 3 foot piece of the dance floor. It's being shipped to me now. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's not going to fit, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I got something. I got a haunted piece of Bobby Mackey's, and I got it out from under the bad part of the paranormal community.
Yeah. I think I know exactly who you're talking about, because like I said, I follow, and yeah, we'll congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's fun. I again, like I have an idea of what I want to do with it. But you know, I'll wait and see if I can do it or not. But yeah, it's you know, like, but like I said, any chance to be a part of this community is so great. And I've had such good luck with the wonderful people like Amy Bruni, the most wonderful woman in the world. She came on my show and was only supposed to stay for 20 minutes. And after she stayed an hour and a half. I mean, she just kept going. And I was like, I don't want to take up too much of your time. She's like, no, we're having a great conversation. This is fun. And I was like, yeah, that's what I like. I like the people that are still into it after all these years, still wondering what it is, but their theories on it are changing. Like you, I think science is going to prove the paranormal, and that's what I'm waiting for. But you know, when your theories start to change a little bit, and mine definitely have, the more I research it, it's not like the less believer I'm becoming. I'm becoming a believer, more of a believer, but on different wavelengths or different things that I never expected.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's another thing that you and me have in common is you don't focus on one specific area. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the people out there is they focus on paranormal and rule out everything else.
Yeah.
And even the same as like some of the other cryptids and UFOs and stuff like that is you're looking at a very small portion of this larger picture and you miss out on all that other stuff. And when you factor that in, everything else starts to make sense and you start putting more pieces into it because you're able to look at all those other different factors.
Oh yeah, definitely. I always think it's hilarious when like I'll be wearing my denim jacket with all the patches of Flatwood Monsters and Mothman and everything on there. And people will be like, oh, Mothman, I love that. You know, that thing is real. I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I love the Mothman. And then they're looking around and they're like, oh, but Bigfoot, that's not real. I'm like, whoa. How can the Mothman be 100% real with only one sighting? Bigfoot, hundreds of thousands, if not more sightings, and it's not real? Like, no. But I also, you know, like I said, as much as it makes me laugh, it also makes me go, all right, you know what? Cool. There's a little piece of the paranormal for everybody. Some of them climb onto some. I've had some guests that say, I'll talk to you about UFOs, but please don't talk to me about ghosts. Ghosts don't exist. And I'm like, all right, there's where your line is. I get that now. My line is all over the place because I'm trying to figure out what's real and what's not.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so interesting. You know, like you said, so many times people ask you like, well, what do you do? Oh, I do Bigfoot and ghosts and stuff. Oh, well, you know, ghosts aren't real. But this one time I was out in the woods and I saw this big upright bear. Yeah, right. Okay, sure you did. You know?
Oh, that's my favorite is when people will go like, I don't believe in ghosts, and then go to tell me the scariest ghost story I've ever heard.
One time.
Yeah. And I'm like, how do you not believe in you just told me a terrifying ghost story? You know, come on.
We were doing their series, the Spirits of Menominee, Upper Michigan. And we got commissioned to do the entire downtown and like survey it and do like this thing of all the places that were haunted down there. And so we literally took one day and we went to every single place that was open that we could go in, all the banks, all the businesses and stuff. And we said, hey, do you have any activity? Have you heard any activity and stuff? And they're like, no, there's nothing going on here. except this one time that this, thing flew across the room, but that's nothing. I don't really think nothing of it. And the one lady literally said, well, yeah, there's nothing here. Except this one morning I woke up and this old man was sitting at the edge of my bed, but I don't know what that was.
That's I love it. That's why I started episode, like, yeah. I mean, that's why I wanted to do Boozy Haunts, because like every bar I ever go to, I'll get to talking with like the bartender or whatnot, and they'll see my patches on my jacket. Oh, you believe in that crap? And they'll tell a ghost story, and it's every bar. And I'm like, it's just like every theater seems to be haunted. Every bar seems to have a ghost. And I'm like, all right, so that's my deal. Once it cools off, because it's still like 100 degrees out here. Once it cools off, I would like to go around to like a few bars, talk to the bartenders, hear their story on camera, and then find out what their signature drink is, come back to my tiki bar and make the signature drink and teach people how to make it. And that'll be an episode of Boozy Haunts. But like that's the stuff that I just love, is randomly talking to people who aren't really into it, aren't really into the paranormal, but have crazy cool paranormal stories. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing the stuff that you hear in that. So
yeah.
Wow. I had a thought and it's gone. I was gonna go.
I've got a fly that's flying crazy. And I'm like, what is happening? Why is it all of a sudden one fly is just like right here?
Uh-huh. Very cool. All right. I wish I lost my whole train of thought there.
Well, I mean, I can tell you about I just went to the Winchester Mystery House.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I got invited to the Winchester Mystery House. It's a place up in San Jose, California. I don't know if it's haunted, but I think I think she brought it into the place, because this woman was told that, she was the heir. Her husband was the heir to the Winchester rifle. They killed basically everybody in the Old West. And so they were told, like, the spirits are angry because of all the killings that you're responsible for. And when her husband passed away, the spirits or these people said, like, hey, you can never stop building. And she never did. I mean, she's built up this Winchester Mystery House, the stairways to nowhere. But they invited me up, and I was like, I would love to. I want to do an episode about it. This would be fantastic. So I went up there, and yeah, it is bizarre. She has a seance room just off her bedroom. I get to hang out in there with just one other person who wasn't talking. It was basically me. Just hanging out in this seance room of one of the weirdest, most bizarre kind of maybe paranormal place I've ever been to, besides the fact it's just a beautiful house. Like the tour is fantastic. It is amazing how well they do. I did 2 of the tours, the regular tours. And it's amazing how they show you every square foot and talk about what each room does and where it was added on to and why. And it was just absolutely fantastic to get a chance to see that historical, because that's the other thing I like besides ghosts. I love the historical side of this, these old buildings. And this is right there, is the oldest building. So it was a really neat experience that I'm glad I got. I can't wait to talk about it on the next episode and give the full history of the Winchester. Although by this point, it'll be a few episodes back. So scroll back by this point, it'll be there. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about the history of the Winchester and just, my experience of flying up for a day, doing a paranormal investigation for all intents and purposes. I mean, I still haven't gone through the 300 photos I took while I was there, because you're not allowed to take video. I can't wait to go through them. But so I still have investigations that, like reviewing my evidence for the investigation that I did. And it's those spur of the moment paranormal investigations that I thrill me. I love it.
What are your thoughts on paranormal tourism? Like, it bothers the heck out of me, to be honest, because like I love the idea that people go out to these different locations and spend a night. But I think that for the people that are actually paranormal investigators and researchers that want to consider themselves, doing something important, what do you actually get out of that? Like you're going to each location for one night and that's it, you leave. I like the areas that you can, like bean snappers that we were talking about. We've been able to treat that thing like a petri dish We have learned so much from being able to go in there and investigate repetitively at these locations and learn something. You have the history. You get to learn the people and learn each spirit and who they are and try and put that all in. But then you have these people that come in for a night. What are your thoughts on that?
I've got, two trains of thought. One, I like it because it lets people dip their toes into the paranormal. And most times that's as far as 90% of people are going to go. And I'm fine with it. I'm like, good, leave it to me. I'll gladly do that. I've invested the money and the time and the research. So let them go in, let them have their quick fun. 99.9% of the time, nothing is going to happen, but it's a scary dark room because, as you know, you can only paranormal investigate in the dark. That drives me crazy. And
when you go in the middle of summer and they turn off all the air conditioning because it's too loud, and then you go in the winter and they're like, well, let me turn the furnace off so that it's easier for you to hear. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, that's helpful. Open the window too.
I like sweating buckets while I'm listening to nothing. Yeah, it's fun for that aspect. Get it out of your system. Cool. Go back to home and watch TV and say like, oh, I got scared because something touched me and it was probably a spider. But it's, it's good and it's bad. It's bad because a lot of times people lock down locations that I really want to investigate. And like you say, spend time at that location. Oh, no, you can't. We already have, like, the Queen Mary's perfect example. Pre-pandemic, I had it like I was in good relations with the people that owned it at that time. And I was going to spend 2 days on the Queen Mary doing nothing, just doing a 48-hour straight paranormal investigation. And I was going to go on the off seasons. There wasn't a lot of people. I had made these plans. The new owners of the Queen Mary have a fantastic ghost tourism thing for it now. But because of that, now nobody else can go in there. In fact, when I told them like, hey, it's fine. I'll just get a room and I'll just record an episode in my room. They actually said to me about a year and a half ago, oh, no, you can't record an episode on the Queen Mary. That's against the law. And I'm like, no, it's not. But I get why you wouldn't want that because you're trying to make your own, dime on your own little tourism. So it's kind of frustrating. The other frustrating one is, this new thing that these paranormal shows are doing where they're making it exclusive. We'll go there, we'll pay you a lot of money, we'll do an episode, but no more of these amateur ghost hunters are allowed in there. And I've run into that a lot out here, unfortunately. And it's really frustrating because this shouldn't be who's ever got the most money gets to investigate. It should be, if you're an experienced investigator, you can show that you can do it safely, that you're not going to, hurt yourself on their premises and cause them money from their insurance. Like it can be a great thing for them and for you. It's advertising for my show. Like I'll talk about it for days on, episode after episode. It's just nothing but free advertising. I'm happy to do it because I get to investigate. So yeah, I'm kind of torn. I would love to do. I've done a few. Now, don't get me wrong. I've done pretty much all the ones in Southern California. I've done their ghost tours and the ghost crawls and everything else. But you're not doing an investigation. You're all talking and you're all standing there listening to a guy tell you a ghost story that may, or most times, may not be even remotely true for the location. And, you kind of take the good with the bad.
Yeah, we have ran into that problem with our tours that we do here because, I'm really not a fan of it. I just don't like the whole paranormal tourism thing. But so many times people want to come out with us and investigate, and we have this very active location. So we've actually spoken to the spirits there and said, hey, are you okay with us doing these tours? Do you want to be part of this tour? Do you like people coming in here? Because I feel like, these spirits are people. They've passed, and you're going in and exploiting them. Look at all these places that are haunted. Well, are the people that are haunted there, are they stuck there? Are they trapped? Do they need help? And you don't care. You just like, oh, well, we're going to charge admission because, the ghost got mad and threw something across the room. So now everyone's going to come and we're going to make money off this. This is great. Well, that ghost is upset, frustrated, and here you are just making money off of them. And, so we have, I think there's 5 spirits in the building that we've been able to determine, and 2 of the spirits do not want to be part of the tours. So we said, okay, well, we're going to tell you when we come in, hey, this date we're going to do a tour. And they agreed that they're going to go to a part of the building that we don't allow people to go in and tour.
That's
And
awesome.
then the other ones can come out and do it, because the other ones all want to be part of it. They're very active. They're fun. They, make stuff light up. They do everything that, we ask, and, they're happy to be there and entertain and stuff. And then the other ones don't. And that's fine, as long as we tell them, so we've taken a very, respectful approach to how we do it in that. And that's why I'm okay still doing in that. But we stopped doing it for a while just because it just made me uncomfortable,
No, I get that. I think that's great that you asked the spirits, because I've actually been to a couple locations out here where when I was there by myself, being respectful, 100% being respectful, I was getting fantastic readings and hits, and anything, like you said, anything I wanted lit up, they would light it up. And then I came back later that evening for one of these little tours, because I was asked to come back. And I went back, and this guy had written all over the walls and was being loud and obnoxious, trying to, well, you got to agitate a ghost. If you want a ghost talk, you got to do. No, you don't. But it's, again, watching those ghost hunting shows, and he was getting nothing. And he said to everybody, with me standing in the back, man, there's nothing haunted here. There's this crap. This place, there's nothing haunted. And I was like, yes, because the way you do it, it really is. Intent is really important. You're right. Mm-hmm. If you go in with the respect and intent, I always do respect first. I straight up, if I know that there is an entity that will only show itself if there's a woman there and it wants to belittle a woman, or then I'll have a woman come with me and have her trying to antagonize him, because I know that it's not a nice spirit. I don't care if I'm making him mad, but for the most part, I want to go in with the respect that it deserves, because you're right. If they are trapped, truly trapped in a location, they're hearing every person going to go, hi, what's your name? Where are you from? When did you die? Like the same questions over and over again. And I wouldn't want to talk to people. I'd be like, all right, I've answered that a million times over. I'll light it up for you once, and then that's the end of it. Like that kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. It's got to be boring or annoying for the ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had good experiences, like on our tours and stuff, with people that instead of asking questions, like they'll play music or they'll do other different things, to try and recreate the thing that was going on there, like play games and stuff, it's really interesting, the stuff. And like you said, there's some people that want to come in and do a whole investigation. They got all the equipment and stuff. And we've had people come in and they're like, we just want to watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's fine, because that's what we're there for. We'll go and do our, whole investigation, what works, what we've had good experiences with, and they can watch, they can interact if they want, but they just want to see a paranormal show in person. Yeah. And that's fine too, so it's good to get people, the different experiences and stuff. And
I've got a friend that, doesn't believe, well, believes, but everywhere he goes, he puts up these defenses. Like, oh, this place isn't going to be haunted. Oh, I'm not going to get scared. Oh, it's not. And I'm like, you got to be open to it. Whatever that means to you, take it as just that. You have to be open to the location, find out a little bit about the history. Don't assume, like, if you go to a location and they say the ghost is named Jason, he was the custodian that died in the cellar. Don't walk in and be like, oh, I think I heard something. Jason, is that you? No, like, just go in open and see what happens. Don't have any prejudging of what you're going to experience. And I find that always helps. But the second you start putting the defenses up, like, there's no ghosts here, this is crap, ghosts are crap, everything's crap, I wouldn't want to talk to you if I was a ghost. I'd be like, oh, okay, well, then go away. Why would I make myself known?
Mm-hmm. And the other side of it too, you talk about, don't go in prejudging anything. When you go into a location and you open this door and say, here's all my equipment, I'm here to talk to you, any of your family, any of your friends that have passed, anybody that wants to communicate with you has this open door to come in. Yeah. And we've seen it so many times at snappers and stuff, that people come in and they're like, well, this sounds like my brother. Why is he here? I'm like, because you asked, this is their opportunity to come in and talk to you. and you're open to it, you have the equipment set out, you have a means of communication, somebody that wants to talk to you is going to make themselves known, whether they're from the building, the history, the anything. They're going to find you when you give them that opportunity. And people just don't get that through their heads either, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I've seen that a number of times as well, where I was talking to a psychic on one of my episodes a long time ago, and I said a joke that my buddy Joe, who had passed away, my buddy Joe would have laughed at in a second. It was a dumb, dirty joke. It was real quick. She wouldn't have grasped it. It was so under the radar. And she's like, hold on a second. I have the most booming laughter in my head right now. And that was Joe. He had a huge laugh. And I was like, okay, that's Joe. Didn't expect to talk to him. Wasn't trying to talk to him, but we're open and we're talking. And boy, did he show up. And yeah, you never know who you're going to get.
We had one investigation there, and we had our mediums with us, and we were talking to the spirits of the building and stuff. And this very skeptic gentleman was there. And I mean, he knows stuff is going on and that, and he's had experiences that, but his grandma came through and he just broke down. And that's when I think it got real for him, that, you know, like there's more to this, you know, and, you know, because you don't get those answers. We have really good mediums on our team, Stephanie Lynn and Ellie Weisensell, and they're absolutely fantastic at what they do. And I have 100%, you know, believability with them. We had experience at the Al Ringling Mansion in Baraboo. And we got to actually talk to Al Ringling. And he brought up this weird name, and we found out that his name led down this whole path and story. And it was basically the story of how he bought the Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Really?
And there's no way Stephanie would have known that. We've never heard of this guy. It was Bailey's nephew who like inherited all the money, and he squandered it and basically ruined the family fortune and had to sell it to the Ringlings. And it was this whole story that we looked up. We Googled it while we were standing there, and we're like, is this what you wanted us to know? And he's like, yeah, you know, and that's how you got the Barnum and Bailey Circus, you know, because you purchased it. It was really cool stuff.
Oh, so I love that. When you're not expecting something and there's no way that you could know it, and it comes through. That is the best. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's so cool. There's so many interesting things, you know, like you said, the whole history, you know, going into these locations and experiencing stuff. Like I was never interested in Gettysburg. Like it never drew me or anything. Sure. And we ended up going there for an investigation, and as part of this trip that we were doing, and it turned out to be one of my favorite episodes we've done, because we had activity there and stuff, but just looking into the history of these places.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, like I said, for every 15 minutes of an episode you watch on our channel, it probably took me 4 hours to edit that 15 minutes down.
Boy, I know that truth, man. That's the thing that I wish I had more time. If this was my only job, like forget the day job, this was it, man. I could afford to do this. I would put in all 4 hours of episode. Like there's so much stuff that I do, all this backstory, this outline for every one of my episodes. And I only get to like here. And then I've got all this stuff that I didn't even get to. And I'm like, it's so good, but I ran out of time. Every week I run out of time. As you know, I love Hollywood history. That's, you know, one of the reasons I stay living out here in California, where I really can't afford it, is the Hollywood history I love. And it's those chances to go through these amazingly cool old buildings that have such connection to the golden era of Hollywood. It just blows me away walking through there. The hair on my arms stand up just from the history alone, not necessarily the paranormal, but then you get the paranormal. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was totally different feeling. Like walking through that city, you could literally feel the history there. It was so cool being there. And the only other place I felt like that was Salem.
Oh yeah, I had that same feeling in Salem. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like you could feel there's something different about this city.
That town, the second you walk in, it's just an electric town. It's like Sedona in Arizona. I had the same feelings that I had in Salem, I had in Sedona, and I've only had it a few times around the country. But yeah, there's something baked into those cities that it's just you feel it. Yeah.
So cool. So cool. Oh man. Well, it's been all I love talking to you, man. I love your show. And that's what I was gonna say. Shout out here to another podcast. You're talking about you can't fit things in, right? Like your shows are so long. There's a show out of Ireland, and it's called Those Conspiracy Guys.
Oh, cool.
And they do like 8-hour episodes, deep dives into stuff. And I started listening to them a while ago at work, and I listened to one episode over like 2 days. And yeah, those guys are awesome. So then that's a goal for your show. You can deep dive. Well, how long was your 100th episode?
9 hours. And the 300th is coming up. I don't know how long this one's gonna be. So yeah.
I don't know if I ever got to tell you about this. I went out to Utah to Phenomicon a couple years ago, and I was driving through Colorado and stuff, and I literally listened to the 100th episode, and it took me almost halfway out to I started in Colorado, so from Colorado, Bailey, Colorado, all the way out to Vernal, Utah, and then halfway back to I can't remember where it made me, but that's all I listened to the whole time was that.
I love it. I love it. I love that people are like, I like the 100th episode. It was just too long, man. It's just, I can't listen to that long. And I'm like, just wait. It's only going to get worse.
Hey, it saves your spot. If you pause it, you can break it down because you had different sections of the episode. Just break it off at each point and take it in chunks.
Yep. So. I love it.
Awesome, man. Well, I definitely look forward to your 300th episode, and congratulations on that, by the way, as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's really cool, man.
I can't wait to this episode to be over so I can kill this fly that all of a sudden is just hanging out for no reason. My Lord.
Very cool. I download these episodes because I have to upload them to the audio section of our podcast system and stuff. I will edit out that little clip and send it to you and see if it showed up in there. And
I cannot wait to hear this. I have no idea what it could possibly be. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I sometimes when the Wi-Fi starts to flutter or something, either on your end or my end, it gets kind of digitally.
Yeah, it's like a robot.
Yeah. And I've heard that it happened a couple times during this, just a little snippets of it and stuff. I've never heard anything like this before. So yeah.
I can't wait. I seriously can't wait. I have no idea what that was.
Hopefully it is in there and I'm not just crazy and people are like, I didn't hear nothing. But
no, with my luck, it won't be. No, it's gotta be. Come on. It's making itself known for a reason. So hopefully it stayed in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very cool, man. All right. Well, for those of you who are driving or listening to this just on an audio platform, tell everybody again, where can people find your show? Where can they listen to you? All that fun stuff.
Paranormal Almanac on everything, including TikTok now. The YouTube, Paranormal Almanac. The Boozy Haunts is under Paranormal Almanac, and you can get the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts.
Absolutely. Very cool. And you go into everything from Bigfoot, paranormal, Loch Ness, all this stuff. It's not just that some haunted history. We were talking also, you got a piece of Fenn's treasure now.
I do. It's amazing. I literally own a piece of treasure. Like, that's incredible. It's a crazy, fun, amazing world that I get to live in, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Absolutely. So there's definitely something, if you're not into paranormal, which why are you listening to my show if you're not? If you're not into cryptids, if you're into murder mysteries and stuff, Curt's got it all for you. So
I hope so. Check it out. Let me know what you want to hear. That's the other thing is I'm all for people saying, hey, I heard about this thing. Is it real? And I'll deep dive that and find out.
Hey, did you ever do my mirror episode I wanted?
Yeah, the one the mirror at the Vegas museum, right?
No, the haunted mirrors and portals.
Oh, yes. No, I've not done that episode yet. I did do I had someone
been 200 episodes.
I know. I got to get into it. You know what? It's perfect time for the 300th episode. 100%. Yeah, you know what? But I did find out kind of offshoot to that there is definitely something to that. And everybody that I've talked to in any form of witchcraft have all said the same. So it is 100% legit and older than anything. Japanese talk about it. Like China talks about it. Russia talks about it. It happens around the world. And there is a lot to that.
Very cool. Well, you get on that.
I will.
I want to hear a whole episode on that. And then let me know, because I gotta, like I said, I got so much stuff going on. You got to let me know when I got to listen to a specific episode. So.
Oh God. Yeah.
Put it in the with one with me. There you go. So then I'll have to listen to it. Awesome. Well, I look forward to chatting with you. I look forward to coming on your show again. And
I can't wait to have you again.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back again. We'll have to have you on the other Monsters on the Edge, and we can talk all about Bigfoot and Nessie and other.
I would love that. Yeah.
Very cool, man. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. It is always a pleasure. I look forward to chatting with you again, and encourage everyone to go check out your show because it is awesome. So
thank you so much. You're the best. I love it.
You too, man. You take care.
Bye now.
All right, guys, that is our show for this week. I want to encourage you guys all to go check out the Paranormal Almanac. Go check out Curt's book, Paranormal Almanac, A Beginner's Guide to Ghost Hunting by Curt Sandvig. It is available on Amazon, and you can check that out. The links are in the show notes, as well as the Paranormal Almanac YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff is in the show notes. Make sure you guys go check that out. Tomorrow night should be the Canadian debut of My Haunted Hometown. Make sure you guys check that out. It's our episode that we are going to be on. Check it out.
A lot of people came here to raise their families, and then everything went to hell.
This town is haunted.
Where will you run?
It's got a lot of history that was never finished.
Where will you hide?
I have got to leave.
When home is where the haunt is.
You can leave, but this place is never going to leave you.
My Haunted Hometown. New episode Friday at 10. Only on TNE. Now in free preview.
Very cool, guys. Go check that out. And if you're around, come on out to Bean Snappers and do a paranormal investigation with us on the CAPS team. We have them through the beginning of November, and we offer private investigations as well. So that is our show for this week, guys. We will see you next week here for the Halloween episode of Paranormal Spectrum. We will be live on Halloween, so that'll be a fun time as well. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share to all your places that you watch and stuff. And remember, we're all part of the Paranormal Spectrum. I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Be well.
You seem to know something I don't. What's going on? Can you tell me what it is, please? I'm not that slow like you